So welcome back to Remake TV. You are watching The Elephant in the Room, and I'm Jasmine Bowen. We have a great story on here. I know we all see in the media today, MTV, Teen Mom, 16 and Pregnant. It doesn't always end badly, as Nalish is here to prove. She's a motivational speaker. She started her own company. So tell us a little more about your company. Who are you looking to assist? Is it only young people or old people? Or
we're looking to assist everyone, Jasmine. 18, you're starting out new, fresh with a credit card and need to know how to manage your credit. 65 years old and retiring, and you know what's going on with the economy. A lot of people are retiring and their pensions are not secure.
Okay.
But you have a lot of years of credit, regardless of whether it's good or bad. We can structure a program for you to help you live financially independent.
so you're actually looking to help people raise their credit scores.
That's
and
correct.
Work with them every step of the way.
Every step of the way, that's right.
So are you willing to work with OSAP student debt and pensions, all of that?
Yep, it's a credit management program.
Okay.
So for my company, we're coming from the perspective of your credit. As a financial services, it's so broad. There's so many different avenues of financial services, but for us, our focus is specifically on your credit, and from there it branches off. If you want to buy a house, you want to buy a car, everything comes from that.
So what would be the best piece of advice you would give someone perhaps just starting out of school, just legal age 18, about credit? Would you advise them to go get 4 credit cards right away?
For sure. I would advise
All
you
4
to
of them.
get 4 credit cards, and most importantly, to pay attention to your balance. Make sure that you stay under 35% of your balance on your card at all times. Number 1.
And what about all banks all the time? They ask you to raise your credit score or raise your balance, you know, from $4,000. Oh, we'll give you a bigger limit of $10,000.
That's right.
Would you advise that?
Say yes.
Say yes.
Yes. Say yes. Usually you're taught to say no, right?
Yes, of course, because
of lack of knowledge, lack of understanding, right? But really and truly say yes and do the exact same thing. Stay underneath the balance.
What do you think is one of the biggest myths out there about credit? I mean, we talked about some of them, good debt versus bad debt, but what's really the biggest one that you want to get out there and attack and prove wrong?
That credit is bad. A lot of people, I was speaking to clients last night, they grew up in a house where they were taught that credit is a bad thing.
Really?
You shouldn't get a credit card, stay away from credit, it's going to put you in debt, it's going to ruin your life, all these kinds of stories. And that's individuals speaking from their own experiences with mismanagement of credit.
Yes.
Right, but that is not the way that it is supposed to be. It's just you need to have the right knowledge in order to manage your credit properly.
Is there any type of person who you'd advise to not work on credit at all?
To not work with credit?
To not work with credit, to not get credit cards. Anybody from any walk of life should get a credit card?
Yeah, pretty much everybody should have a credit card.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's just it's about managing, right?
Absolutely. And would you advise people to do it on their own, or would you always say, you know, have a professional there, have professional advice?
Professional advice is definitely needed.
Because I know a lot of people think, oh, well, I'll just get a credit card and I'll watch the limit and that will be it.
No, you need to speak with me. You need to contact me and sit with me and have me direct you on how to manage your credit effectively, so that you will be financially independent for the rest of your life.
While we're on that topic, how can we contact you?
You can contact me at 1-877-216-1979. That's 1-877-216-1979. As well, my website is www.forvanfinancial.com.
All right, and if you missed that, she's speaking too fast, you didn't have a pen, don't worry, it's on the bottom of your screen as well.
Right.
Now, you have another business also. What else do you do?
I'm a motivational speaker.
I think you're certainly qualified for that.
I actually started motivational speaking when I was 17.
17?
Yeah, after I had my son at 17, I started motivational speaking. And I started speaking at high schools and public schools at that time, and gradually went on to speak to, you know, women's shelters and various different organizations.
Now, what were you speaking about in the beginning?
In the beginning, I spoke about my experiences being a teenage mom, how I became a teenage mother. Specifically, I speak about childhood sexual abuse and the relationship between, for me, how that related to me becoming a teenage mom. And I talk about the fact that it doesn't matter what happens to you as a child. Anything that negatively happens to you as a child, if you don't deal with it, it will continue to deal with you for the rest of your life. Okay. So I speak about the cause and the effect.
Okay.
right? So, and if you've experienced anything negative in your past, you need to deal with it so that you can move on into your present without having something in your past affecting you.
All right, and so now obviously you moved on from that point. Now I know that some of the topics are still the same, but what has changed? What do you speak about now?
I speak about my journey in the things that I've gone throughout my life journey, and the importance of constantly being motivated to do bigger, better, greater things as you go out throughout life, right? It's important to be a positive person, no matter what the circumstance may be. You can always get a positive out of something negative that's going on around you. Why
do you choose to motivational speak, or what kind of, I guess, motivated you, inspired you to start doing this? I mean, you had so much going on. You were a teen mother. There was jobs and bills and all the scrutiny from the public, but what motivated you to go and help people?
I think that the biggest thing that motivated me was my son.
Really?
It really was my son. I realized first and foremost that the teenagers that I was with at that time that were also pregnant, because the school I went to was for teen moms.
Okay.
And when I would sit down with them, and we'd had our children with us and talk about some of the things that we were going through, you know, we would say, you know, what society is saying about us is not true. Right? Yes, we may be teenage moms, but we're not bad people. We're not like you said. Is it MTV? You keep mentioning?
MTV shows us all these train wrecks of teenage moms.
Right. That's not the case. You know what I mean? And for me at that point, I was like, you know what? I need to go out and speak about this, because the perception that people have is incorrect. And really it was my son, having my son, looking at him, raising him, and realizing that, you know what, having children is not the end of the world. Children are a blessing.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So don't judge me because I'm a teenage mom. Like, my life is not over, and that was my message to go out and speak about that.
Now there's I guess a myth out there, or maybe not, that putting all these teenage moms in a school together actually causes more trouble than helps. Do you feel like that, or do you feel it really helped you to be with them?
It really helped me. Really did help me. I mean, something simple as you know, being pregnant. I don't know if you have any children, but as a mother, when you're pregnant, there's so many different emotions and things that happen inside your body.
Yeah.
That when you're around other pregnant women, you're able to discuss it. Everybody's in an understanding of what's happening. And I can remember being at my regular high school prior to going to Rosalie Hall, and you know, something simple as needing to use the washroom, because you use the washroom a lot.
You're pregnant, you need to use the washroom.
And you know, putting up your hand to ask to go to the washroom, and being told no, you can't go to the washroom. That I never forgot that, and I remember I just got up and went, because I can't, you know, I need to use the washroom.
Yeah, you need to go.
So, but being in an environment where there's, you know, it's an understanding, everybody is in the same position. You don't have to, you know, put your hand up to use the washroom. You just go. You know what I mean? You're automatically in a situation where you're treated differently.
Yeah.
Understanding where you're coming from.
Well, you definitely, it sounds like you were treated more like adults, which is what you were entering a little prematurely, but you had to enter it then.
Exactly.
From all your motivational speaking, this has been years and years, is there anyone, a guest in the audience, who really stands out to you as a success, or someone that you feel that you helped, or someone you followed up with?
There's quite a few. But I think one of the things that really stood out for me when I was telling my story were the children that would come up to me after and would tell me about things that they had gone through, and you know, telling me that they're so happy that I spoke about this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There was a teacher also that I remember, he came to me after and he said, you know, one of the things that I talk about when experiencing abuse, right, for me, when I realized that I needed to deal with my abuse was when I could not bathe my son as a baby.
Really?
Right. For me, giving him a bath kind of triggered a memory for me, and I thought, I'm abusing him, so I can't bathe him. That's when I realized, okay, I need to deal with this.
Yes,
that's when I went and got counseling.
Issue right away. Yes.
Right. So I remember when I was telling my story, this particular teacher came and spoke to me after, and he said, you know what, I'm really, really thankful that you said that, because my wife was also abused, and she's told me the same thing about taking care of our children.
Really?
And I thought that, you know, this was crazy when she told me this, but now you're coming and telling me the same thing. And I said, you know, yeah, that's one of the effects of abuse, right? So it gave him a better understanding.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's something that also stood out for me.
For sure.
Yeah.
We will be right back with Nalish. She's sharing her story about being a motivational speaker as well as starting her own company, all from the beginnings of a teenage mom. You are watching The Elephant in the Room on Remake TV. I'm Jasmine Bowen. Do not forget, while you go get a glass of water, walk your dog, do whatever you need, to click on our contest banner and enter. You can win $500 just for telling your friends about the great people like Nalish on Remake TV. So click on the contest banner, enter your friends' names, tell them all about the great stuff that you love, and you have a chance to win $500 every month. Catch you soon.